from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. I'm Charitha Vinipurarachi. Joining with me today is Kasuni Balachandra. New governor of the central bank reiterates that political and social stability is necessary to rescue the country from economic crisis. No power cuts from 13th to 15th April. Discontinuations will be restricted to only 1 hour tomorrow. Sri Lanka records 0 COVID-related deaths yesterday as well. A request to inform police of any information on the person who set fire to a bus in Mirihana. Water levels in the main reservoirs increased to 66% due to ongoing rainfall. The irrigation department says that water is sufficient for the upcoming Yala season. A parliamentary no-confidence vote against the government of Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan tonight. Chris Silverwood has been appointed as the main coach of the Sri Lanka cricket team.
Moving on to those and other stories in detail, and we begin with local news. The new governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, reiterates that political stability is essential in order to resurrect the country's economy within a period of 2 months.
And he has made these remarks at a program titled The Emergency of the Economic Crisis, organized by the Sri Lanka Electronic Broadcasting Forum yesterday. Vice Chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, Duminda Hulangamuwa, said that Sri Lanka was engaged in a war for 30 years and again it was battling a COVID pandemic for 2 years. He added that the country's economy was badly affected during these periods as well. However, things had not gone to the extent we are witnessing today. There had never been a time of cutting pause for 12 hours and waiting in long queues for gas and fuel like today. The people are feeling the pain today. That is why they have gone to the streets. The people should not be blamed for their actions. The Vice Chairman further said that their agitations has brought positive effects as well. One such outcome was the ability to appoint the appropriate persons to deal with the situation. The country is facing a dollar problem. With the depletion of the Indian trade line by the middle of next month, the country would be in total darkness in June unless we take remedial actions. Duminda Hulangamuwa further said that the country is able to talk with the IMF in this regard. Commenting on elections, he said that changing of constitution and changing of administrations would only become possible if the government remains stable. Under such circumstances, the country would not be able to proceed beyond July of this year. It takes 3 months to hold an election and another year to change the constitution. The Vice Chairman has pointed out that therefore that the entire 225 members of Parliament must realize the situation. There is no use in engaging in debates in Parliament at present. A solution is mandatory. He also said that even for the opposition to govern a country, the country will have to be saved. Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, said that clearly the inflation would reach 28, 29 or 30%. Today's actions will not yield results tomorrow. Any outcome will have to be seen after 3 months. The people to have to face consequences. The governor further said that political stability in wherever form is extremely important. The ability to regain political stability will be determined by our efforts to bring upwards the collapsed economy. The support of all groups is crucial to come out of the problem. At the time of conducting talks with the IMF in the technical level, a strong commitment will have to be made to arouse the confidence of friendly countries to assist in our restoration efforts. We could request for short-term relief for a period of 3 months from the Asian Development Bank, the World Bank or from the countries India or China. Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe further said the Prime Minister will engage in talks with China next week. Sri Lanka should convince their negotiations that we have a country which could be rebuilt.
එන්න ඕන මේ ක්‍රියාවලිය අපි අවංකව සහ දැඩිව කරන්න උත්සාහ කරනවා කියන එක. ඒ විශ්වාසය අපිට දෙන්න පුළුවන් නම් අපි කියමු ඉන්දියාවට හෝ චීනයට හෝ කවුරු හරි උදව් කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන රටකට. එහෙම නැත්නම් ආසියානු සංහත බැංකුව ලොකු බැංකුවට. ඒ විශ්වාසය උඩ ඊළඟ මාස 3 යනකම් අපිට මේ කෙටි කාලීන උදව්වක් කරන්න කියලා යම්කිසි ආකාරයක සහනයක් අපිට ඉල්ලන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම හැකියාවක් තියෙනවා. දැන් මම අත් වශයෙන්ම හෙට සාකච්ඡා කරනවා ඉන්දියාව සමග. දැන් ඊට පස්සේ ලබන සතියේ අගමැතිතුමා සාකච්ඡා කරනවා චීනස්. සම. ඒක සාකච්ඡාවක් කරන්න යනකොට ඒ රටකට තියෙන්න ඕන ඒගොල්ලන්ට පිළිගත් හැකි වැඩපිළිවෙලක් අපි මේකෙන් ගොඩ එනවා කියන විශ්වාසය හේතු ගන්නවා. නමුත් මෙතෙක් කල තිබිච්ච ප්‍රශ්නය තමයි අපි ඒක පෙන්눔 කරන්නේ නැතුව ගිහිල්ලා සල්ලි ඉල්ලනවා. හැබැයි අපි කියනවා අපිට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ කියලා. නමුත් දැන් අපි පැහැදිලිවම අපේ වෘත්තීය මට්ටමේ නිලධාරීන් විදිහට අපි පැහැදිලිව කියනවා මේක ඇත්ත තත්ත්වය. නමුත් මෙන්න මේකයි අපේ විසඳුම. අපි මේ නිවැරදි ක්‍රියාමාර්ගය යනවා. අර මම කිව්වාගේ මේක වාහනේ බ්‍රේක් ගාලා හරවගෙන එන්න තත්ත්වයකට එනවා කියන විශ්වාසය ඒගොල්ලන්ට දෙන්න ඕන. ඒක දුන්නොත් විතරක් අර කෙටි කාලයේ ඒ කාලයට මුදල් ලබා ගන්න පහසුකමක් වෙනවා. ඒක තමයි දැන් කරන්න තියෙන එකම උපක්‍රමය. ඒක තමයි අපි උත්සාහ කරන්නේ.
කිසිම කෙනෙකුට
Professor M. Tilakasiri said that every person is unable to do everything. However, each person could do something. Therefore, all in the country must act as a group to increase revenue and to reduce expenditures. The professor added that, however, we are unable to increase our income instantly. However, expenses could be reduced sustainability. The expenses on luxury items will have to be curtailed, though it is a difficult decision.
මැරෙන්නේ නැතුව පවතින්න ඕන වියදම් පමණයි කරන්න. අද සුකෝපභෝගී අධි සුකෝපභෝගී වියදම් සියල්ලම අපි ක්‍රමානුකූලව එක ටිකක් hard decision එකක්. ටිකක් දැනෙන තීරණයක්. තෙල් හරියට වෙලාවට නැතුව
Secretary to the Ministry of Finance KML Mahinda Sirivardhana said that some persons had died while waiting queues to receive oil, gas or milk powder. The government has a good understanding on the grievances of the people. The government's aim is to relieve the immense burden prepared on the general public. Therefore, a closely coordinated program is being carried out throughout joint collaboration of the Ministry of Finance, PAW and all other groups concerned. The main requirement is to find the dollars. And meanwhile, the Public Utility Commission says there will be no power cuts in the country on the 13th, 14th and 15th of this month. However, power discontinuations will be restricted to 4 hours a day on the 11th and 12th of this month.
The reason for relaxation in power cuts has been the rainfall being received in areas of hydroelectricity power stations and also obtaining of adequate quantities of fuel stocks. The Public Utility Commission has granted permission for power cuts for a duration of 2 hours today and tomorrow. Accordingly, power supply is being discontinued for 2 hours between 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. in the zones of A, P, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K and L. In the zones of P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, power cuts are being implemented for a period of 2 hours between 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. Tomorrow in the zones from A to L and also from P to W, power cuts of 1 hour duration from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. will be imposed on Monday and Tuesday. A 4-hour power cut will take place. Accordingly, a power cut of 1 hour and 50 minutes will be implemented on these days. Death toll due to COVID-19 disease has reached the minimum level nearly after a period of 1 year. The Department of Government Information says not a single COVID-19 related death has been reported yesterday as well. COVID deaths were not reported on the 4th of this month as well. Sri Lanka has been reporting COVID-related deaths on a daily basis since the 13th of April last year. The health divisions point out that with the commencement of the inoculation program in January of last year, the number of COVID-related deaths were able to be minimized. The country's COVID death toll during this week has not exceeded 10.
And the Central Bank of Sri Lanka informs the general public despite the fact that 11th and 12th of this month declared as public holidays, all licensed banks will remain open for normal banking functions on these 2 days as well.
Only a few days left for the dawn of the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. People in large numbers are arriving in towns to purchase goods for the new year. The national television crew was engaged in a fact-finding tour in Colombo and suburbs. Our team has witnessed that many trading places in Colombo have been open for longer durations than in other days. The Colombo Fort area was filled with consumers looking for essential commodity items for the new year. Maharagama town is a main location where garments are being sold, especially during the New Year season. Larger crowds were seen flocking in the area. Many shops in Nugekota town were also filled with large crowds looking for essential goods. The Kandy town has also become a hive of activity during the New Year festive season. Large groups have also been witnessed arriving in the Polonnaruwa town to purchase essential commodity items.
Protests have been conducted in many locations last night and today as well. Political party leaders, civil organization representatives and the general public have taken part in these agitations. A protest campaign organized by the National People's Party took place in Maharagama last evening. The protesters have marched to the middle of the Maharagama town and displayed their apprehension by lightning flames. Party leader Andrukumar Dissanayake and a large number of people's representatives were present on this occasion. A protest organized in front of the Golf Race Green has commenced around 9 o'clock this morning. The agitators who spent several hours in the green later on walked towards the presidential secretariat. They were seen protesting at the entrance of the secretariat building. Vehicle transport in Gold Road has come to a standstill as a result. Strong security has been provided at the presidential secretariat. And in your more local story, the Sri Lanka Medical Association says the participation of children in ongoing agitations is an unexcusable offence. Representatives of the association point out that impetus of such message is extremely dangerous to the mind of a child.
They have also reiterated at a media briefing today that it is extremely important for the people to remain vigilant of their health in the same manner that they have looked after their health in the past 2 years. President of the Sri Lanka Medical Association, Professor Samat Dharmaratne, said that people had accustomed to live in an extremely health-conscious manner in the past 2 years. He added that as a result, the country was able to control the spread of the COVID-19 disease in an extremely successful manner. Professor Dharmaratne added that, however, the COVID pandemic has not yet ended. Therefore, it is imperative to remain vigilant of the spread of the disease in the times ahead as well. He also said that people should be extremely thoughtful of health guidelines, especially during the upcoming New Year season. Parliamentarian S.B. Dissanayake says that the president is unable to vacate his position as demanded by the opposition. Addressing a media briefing of the Sri Lanka Podujana Perabuna today, he added that the ultimate outcome of President leaving the office would be the country falling into an ungovernable situation. MP S.B. Dissanayake said that although the opposition is demanding the exit of President, the President is unable to do so. If he leaves the office right now, it is inevitable that the country would fall into an ungovernable situation. Large numbers of government MPs have become independent. Even after the leaving, the Podujana Perabuna government still has 117 MPs. Some of the independent members would join the government in crucial issues. Therefore, there is no doubt on the stability of the government. The MPs has also recalled how late President Premadasa was urged to urge the vacation of the president but remained. The opposition has presented an extremely inappropriate suggestion to abolish executive presidency yesterday. It was due to the stern leadership that many of the countries of the world had achieved economic power. He added that the executive president was unable any patriotic person to turn into a country towards the progress. Now, the Department of Criminal Investigations has commenced inquiries for taking into custody the suspects connected to the incident of setting fire to buses and other vehicles during the commotion that took place in Mirihana recently. The CID adds that public assistance is being sought in apprehending the suspects. CCTV footage obtained at the incident have been able to establish caricature drawings similar in outlook to the person who set fire to the buses. The police headquarters has publicized the picture in order to receive any information pertaining to the incident.
The Department of Meteorology says disturbances in the lower atmosphere closer to Sri Lanka may bring more rainfall in the next few days as well. Showers or thunder showers would take place in many locations throughout the island. Fairly strong rainfall exceeding 75 millimeters may occur in certain areas in the eastern, over, central and north central provinces. The Met Department requests the general public to take necessary measures to prevent the occurrence of accident caused as a result of lightning and provisional strong winds during thunderstorms. It further says that the sun will remain directly over Sri Lanka until the 15th of this month. The Himalaya is reported to be overflowing due to receipt of high rainfall. A lightning which struck the Sanghawas at the Electronic Library of Rangwadigama, Sri Bodhyangarama Vihara in Uvaparanakama last evening has caused damages. The Department of Irrigation says water levels in major reservoirs have gone up by 66% as a result of heavy rainfall recorded in the past few days. Director of the Water Management Unit of the Department of Irrigation, Engineer D. Abesirivardhana, says that the existing water capacity is sufficient for cultivation purposes in the upcoming Yala season.
Now, programs of Sundara Nuwara Eliya Salalihini Vasantaya are being conducted in several locations these days through media sponsorship of the national television.
Sundara Nuwara Eliya Salalihini Vasantaya 2022.
Special travelling facilities to the visitors of the Sundara Nuwara Eliya Salalihini Vasantaya festival are being provided. Train travellers who get down at the Nanuai railway station will have only a short distance to travel to the festive location. The Nanuai situation station is providing special railway resting rooms facilities to the arrivals. We invite you to feel the enchanting beauty of the Nuwara Eliya Salalihini Vasantaya by making use of these facilities. Now let's move on to more news items in brief. The Colombo North Division Crime Investigation Division has been successful in arresting a suspect with a Browning-type pistol and ammunition. He was a resident of Jampata Street, Colombo. Three persons have been injured in a road accident in Depot Junction in Puttlam. Expatriate Sri Lankans in Jordan have contributed medical equipment to the country. The items were received by the Foreign Secretary Admiral Professor Jayanath Columbage and State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana at a ceremony held in the Foreign Ministry. Sri Lanka Ambassador in Jordan Shanika Disanaika and the embassy staff have been coordinating to contribute the items.
Wild elephant attacks have been reported in cultivation lands and houses in the villages of Malayadevapura and Kotmalpura in Tamuttegama and Radhapura last night. Residents in the area say that solutions have not yet been provided to the problem despite informing the politicians and officials. Wild elephants were said to have destroyed paddy harvest and numerous crops cultivated without the usage of chemical fertilizer. The villagers further said that paddy stored in their houses were also attacked and consumed by wild elephants. Foreign news on the other side of this break. Welcome back, and in your foreign stories tonight, more evacuations are needed from the Luhansk region in Ukraine as shelling has increased in recent days and more Russian forces have been arriving, Luhansk government has said.
He said that some 30% of people still remaining in settlements across the region have been asked to evacuate. Meanwhile, at least 52 people, including 5 children, were killed after Russian forces carried out a missile strike on a railway station in Kramatorsk, eastern Ukraine, that was being used by civilians trying to flee the flight. Ukrainian officials said yesterday. They further said that 98 wounded people, 16 children, 46 women and 36 men were taken into local hospitals. Local police said in a statement that the rocket struck a temporary waiting room where hundreds of people were waiting for the evacuation train. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has called for a firm global response after a missile strike killed at least 52 people at a train station in eastern Ukraine, where civilians had gathered to flee a free Russian offensive. Meanwhile, authorities in the southern port city of Odessa have imposed a weekend curfew because of the threats of further missile strikes, according to the regional military.
And in more foreign news, the National Assembly session to decide the fate of Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan via voting on a no-confidence motion against him has been adjourned yet again and is now expected to resume at 9:30 p.m. after Isha prayers. The latest adjournment was the fourth of the day as opposition's clamour for immediate voting throughout the day have fallen on deaf ears. Speaker Azad Kaiser was chairing today's session when it began at 10:30 a.m. sharp in accordance with the Supreme Court's directives and with the recitation of the Holy Quran. Voting on the no-confidence motion against the Prime Minister is the fourth item on the day's agenda, but it has yet to happen. Since morning, opposition and Treasury members have been giving speeches on the floor of the House. While the opposition came out in full force, very few members of the Treasury benches were in attendance before the session was adjourned. Prime Minister Imran Khan was also not present. The opposition needs the support of at least 172 lawmakers from a total of 342 to oust the Premier through the no-trust move. A meeting was held between the Treasury and opposition benches in the Speaker's chamber after the session was adjourned, when the latter called for holding proceedings according to the Supreme Court's directive.
Creama Kottumi, hot and spicy නව වසරක් වේවා.
Welcome back with your sports update. England national Chris Silverwood has been appointed as the main coach of the Sri Lanka cricket team, and Chief Executive Officer of the Sri Lanka Cricket, Ashley De Silva, has made the announcement in this regard this evening.
Silverwood has been appointed for a period of 2 years. Accordingly, he will commence duties as chief coach of the Sri Lanka team with the commencement of the upcoming Bangladesh tour. Chris Silverwood has earlier functioned as the main coach of the England cricket team.
Moving on to the Indian Premier League, the Gujarat Titans team has beaten the Punjab Kings team in an India Premier League 20-over cricket encounter in Mumbai yesterday.
The Punjab Kings team, batting first, has scored 189 runs for the loss of 9 wickets within the allotted 20 overs. The highest scorer was Liam Livingstone, who hit 64 runs facing 27 deliveries. His score has included 7 boundaries and 4 sixers. Shikhar Dhawan has also scored 35 runs. Rashid Khan has recorded a bowling spell of 3 wickets for 22 runs. The victorious Gujarat Titans hit the winning shot in the last ball of the final over. They have secured victory with 6 wickets in hand. Shubman Gill has scored 96 runs facing 59 balls. He has recorded 11 boundaries and a sixer. Kigishore Rabada has shown some success by bowling for the Punjab Kings team by securing 2 wickets for 35 runs.
Two female sports persons have been successful in setting up 2 new Sri Lankan records at the Athletic Championship tournament organised in connection with the centenary of the Sri Lanka Athletic Association. The tournament is being conducted at the Diagama Mahinda Rajapaksha Stadium. The event has been organised as a tournament for the selection of the local athletes in Asian Games. On the record day of the tournament today, and the Gayantika Baratna and Delani Ratnayaka have set up 2 new Sri Lankan records. Ratnayaka has established a record by finishing the 3,000-meter hurdles event in 9 minutes 40 to 25 seconds. The other record has been set up by Avaratna in 800-meter women running event by completing the event in 2 minutes 1.44 seconds. Tomorrow is the final day of the tournament.
Prima Kottumi, hot and spicy nava wasarak veva.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. See you just tomorrow at the very same time. Stay safe. Good night.